Hello, everyone. Iain MacMillan here, and joining me today is former NFL tight end, Super Bowl 50 champion Vernon Davis, who is partnered with Smirnoff for the ultimate game day matchup. Vernon, I want to talk to you about that partnership with Smirnoff, but first, I want to actually ask you about the tight end position specifically, because we have seen offenses in the NFL evolve, I think would be fair to say, over the past couple of years, especially passing numbers across the NFL down this season. I'm curious if you've seen the tight end position specifically evolve at all over the past number of years. Are these guys playing the position any differently from when you played, or has that position stayed basically the same over the past number of years?
Yeah, I think it's no, I feel like it's been the same, but part of me feel like they've been able to utilize the tight end position a little bit more. But that kind of it varies from year to year. It's hard to really say because the game now is about getting the ball in the hands of all of the playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just how the game is. And if you're looking at the game, it seems as if a lot of these guys, these wide receivers and tight ends are wide open. You know, based on the offensive scheme that day for that game. And you know, it's always supposed to evolve. You know, we have to take that into consideration that the game's always going to evolve. But you're right, the tight end position can kind of waver a bit depending on that offensive scheme. But I think for the most part, I've seen them utilize the tight ends the same way they utilized me when I was playing.
Now, I don't know if you can see my background. I got a Falcons helmet in my background. I'm an Atlanta Falcons guy, so I got to ask you about Kyle Pitts. He came into the NFL with a ton of expectations, something you're probably familiar with. You were taking number 6 overall, Kyle Pitts, number 4 overall, had a very good rookie season, took a bit of a step back the past couple of years, but now we're kind of seeing a bit of a resurgence in his 4th year, which I find a little bit coincidental because, Vernon, I know your 4th season was a big breakout year for you as well. I'm curious if the tight end position, because you have to be so dynamic, you got to block, you got to be a receiver as well. Does it sometimes take a few years to really adjust to being able to play tight end at the NFL level?
Yeah, the NFL level is a whole nother beast we're talking about. It's totally different from college, and it can take some time. It took me a little bit of time. I remember my first year, my second year, I was figuring everything out. And then I started to take off after that. So, I just think it's one of those things with Kyle Pitts is that the way he's learning and how he's receiving that information. And now he's going out and he's being effective because it is, you really want to make sure that the information is hitting you correctly. It's all about understanding when it's playing at that next level. You have to understand how things work and how to get them done. And just use what you learned and put it to work.
Vernon, you have recently wrote a book titled "Playing Ball: Life Lessons from My Journey to the Super Bowl and Beyond." Talk to me about what inspired you to write the book and what people can expect when they dive into it.
Yeah, the thing that inspired me to write my book is how can I had to sit down and ask myself, how can I give back in a special way? And I remember when I was going through some things when I was playing in San Francisco, I was looking for different books that could help me, because if you know that someone else is going through some of the same things that you're going through, then you feel a lot better. You feel more confident. You feel inspired, and in a sense, you feel safe. So if I can give back my experience, my life lessons, my journey to those who are struggling or who just need something to read. And, this book is all about my life from the time I was from my younger days all the way up until now. And I didn't think there was a better opportunity to start writing this book until I thought the best opportunity was right now, because there's no expiration date on life. And, if I get information out as soon as possible, then that's what it's all about.
Do you have maybe one overall message that you would give to young athletes nowadays growing up and, playing a high school sport, whether it's football or something else? Do you have any one overarching message for them?
Yeah, I would say for the younger guys who I can just from an inspirational standpoint is to just make sure you're staying consistent and repetitive. And I say that because the more you do something, I mean, like, like anything else, like in our jobs and, whatever it is that we're doing, the more time we put into that certain craft, the better we are, and it only comes with time. Time is our best asset. So if they can continue to stay consistent and repetitive with what they're doing, I think they can, they'll get to where they're trying to go.
Now, before we talk about your partnership with Smirnoff, I do got to ask you a question about a different sport. If we can switch from football just for one question, and it is, Vernon, I'm Canadian, so I you may know where this is going. I love the fact that you're into curling. Talk to me about the sport of curling. I know you've been into it in the past. You played it in the past. And the reason why I find it interesting, actually, because when I talk to a lot of NFL players, especially former NFL players, a lot of them are into golf. And what they talk about and the reason why they like golf is because they just talk about how it's them and, the club and the ball. And you've said it's a thing that you like about curling. It's you and the stone and the broom. Is there something about football players? Are you just sick of playing a sport where you have 52 other guys on the roster and you want to play something that's a little bit more of an individual sport? I know curling's still a team sport technically, but I think there are some similarities there between curling and golf. So what are your thoughts on that, kind of switching to that sport, in your later years?
Yeah. It was one of those sports that just kind of fell in my lap. One of the beat writers at the time in San Francisco, she was a really good friend of mine. And she came to me, she said, I want you to try the sport. I guess the U.S. curling team heard about it. So I decided to go to Vancouver. And when I arrived, they had a jacket for me. And they said, hey, we would love for you to be the honorary captain for our U.S. curling team. So that's how it all happened.
Yeah, I love it. Obviously, as a Canadian, curling was a big part of my life growing up. Talk to me about your partnership with Smirnoff.
Yeah. Smirnoff is partnering with Matchbox, Viral Connections agency, and we're pretty much giving the fans a unique opportunity to do something, to connect with different individuals. This is going to be cool because we'll allow them to pretty much come together. And it's all about those unique traditions. You want to create traditions. I've always had unique traditions when I was playing, as well as as I've been watching the games lately. It's an elevated game experience, getting to know each other. They'll have a chance to play a game and learn each other. And then we'll put them through a bunch of questions and see who can reveal the identity of the person they're connected with. It's going to be pretty cool.
Fantastic. I encourage everyone to check that out. Thank you so much, Vernon, for your time. I appreciate it, and take care.
You too. Thank you.